Dr. Ignatius Piazza is our guest, the owner and founder of FrontSight. His website's ignatius-piazza.com or frontsight.com. And he is a sponsor, but I've got him up today just to talk about what he's doing and his view. And I want to have him back up in the near future to talk for a full hour just about the Second Amendment culture and how we defend it and take your calls. But, Doc, in the few minutes we've got left in this segment and the next, then I got a big financial guest coming on for the listeners out there on some key info with hyperinflation. I can't think of anybody out there who's talked to more people, more police, more military, in and around the Second Amendment, more citizens. And everybody I talk to is really wanting to go to war with the feds. I want to avoid that. I understand that avoiding conflict is the real mastery of it, only defending yourself if you have to. But with the foreign offshore banks seizing the country, openly taking over, what's your view of this whole global system? What are the police and military and citizens saying you talk to?
Well, the people that come out the front side, of course, don't necessarily, at least at this time, represent the views of everyone in the country. But I will tell you, they're much more informed about all of the terrible things that have been going on, for many, many years in terms of U.S. losing its sovereignty, becoming so indebted that we may never get out of a situation that we're in unless something drastic like you're referring to occurs. They are basically arming themselves because they believe that we're on the path to problems that are in fact going to require everybody who wants to survive it to have a firearm and know how to use it. That's why they come to us. Yes, there are people that are concerned about their personal safety due to crime, but there is definitely an undercurrent of people that understand that, hey, this country is not what it was when our grandfathers fought and died for it during World War II. And they're very patriotic. They have long lineage of people that have, in fact, served the country. They understand the Constitution. And because they're so much more informed than the average citizen, they can read between the lines with what is being told to them in the newspapers and in the mainstream media. And many of them listen to your show. I mean, I've had numerous people contact me and say, you really should sponsor the Alex Jones Show. And when I started listening to it, I understood why, and that's why we're doing it.
Well, it's a great honor to have you here because I always heard FrontSight's the name. FrontSight's the best. Police, military, I know, patriots, and then here we are years later together. I remember Chris Athanas, a friend of mine, local TV show, radio show, in like 98, just ranting and raving about FrontSight and how I had to go and how I had to, be part of it. And I'm just, and I know that I'm losing my gun culture, my Second Amendment. My sons and daughters have gotten a little bit of training. And we go out in the backyard with the BB guns, so they're getting pretty good. But the issue is I need to make sure that frontier training that I didn't realize till I read history books later that I was being given the frontier training, which of course isn't as good as what you do, but the basic stuff that was passed on from before this country was a nation, when it was colonies, and that was so special because they hadn't had those rights in Europe. And then I realized that I'm the first generation where I'm this big Second Amendment guy, and it's not dying, but it's not just absolutely kick butt like it was with, say, my grandfathers, who as soon as they went into World War II, look out, they were, could shoot, a turkey at, 6,000 yards or whatever. And me, I got to shoot 2 or 3 times before I hit the turkey at 6,000 yards. So just absolutely great to see what you're doing, and God bless you for what you're doing. What about the police and military that you talk to? Are they starting to figure out what's going on?
Well, again, the students that come to see us that are in military and law enforcement are a very patriotic group of people, and they're the type of people that you would want on your side if this ever, push ever came to shove. And I want to compliment you on the fact, and I agree with you, the best thing is to avoid a conflict. Nobody wants a conflict, but we certainly don't want to be abused either.
Absolutely. Try to avoid conflict, but I'm not going to get on my knees in a ditch to a bunch of commissars and let them have their way with me. Dr. Piazza, let's do a few more minutes on the other side, and we've got a financial guest joining us from Thailand. Stay with us. Marc Faber coming up. Dr. Ignatius Piazza is our guest, frontsight.com. Toll-free number to call and get a free brochure or to learn more about it. But don't wait. If you've got the time, if you're not working 18 hours a day like I am, get in there, take your wife, your daughters. It's in a safe environment. The basics. A lot of people don't get into this because they want to be macho. And I have to admit, even at a subconscious level, I'm like, I don't want to go around all those super good experts. And that is pathetic loser mentality. And I barely have that. But there's this little lingering thing as a macho guy. I don't know how to use a gun. I don't want to, go be involved in that. It's ridiculous. Don't be embarrassed to go out and learn how to water ski or snow ski. Don't be embarrassed if you want to go join a Golden Gloves boxing or kickboxing. Most people never get outside the box because they're too afraid of even looking stupid or looking bad. But once you get in it, you're like, man, this is great. Boxing or anything, some of the things I've done in my life. I mean, you need to just get into it, go ahead and make the plunge. And nothing is more important until learning how to defend yourself with the ancient right of armaments. And the best thing out there is the handgun, is the firearm, is the rifle. Read Thomas Jefferson. It is the essential of a free human being. And the way to defeat the gun grabbers is our culture, lifeblood. And you've got to spread that idea. That's why I've had lots of groups that aren't even sponsors and that aren't as professional or good as Front Sight, because I'm trying to get this thing kickstarted, and it is happening, all of us together. So 800-987-7719, 800-987-7719, or frontsight.com. Closing comment in 60 seconds, Doctor.
Well, I just, again, want to thank you for your support, and I encourage all of your listeners and viewers, go to the Front Sight website, FRONTSIGHT.com, and at least subscribe to the free gun training reports, because I can start training you right at your computer with some of the same information that people are spending thousands of dollars to receive at our facility, and start learning what we're trying to teach and understand the mindset of using a firearm when it's needed to defend yourself and the lives of your loved ones, and also learning when it's not appropriate, because that's one of the things that we also teach. Not only we teach when to use it, but more importantly, when you should not use a firearm, so you can also keep yourself out of jail. So these are all very important topics.
No, I mean, it's reportedly the best thing out there from everybody I've talked to that's done it, including a lot of federal people like Bannister, but also police I know. They just say it's really great. I mean, a lot of it's simple common sense, too, but in my experience, don't wave a gun around unless you're protecting yourself and are prepared to use it. And if you go ahead and point it at somebody, generally then if they don't immediately get on the ground, you got to go ahead and take care of them. But it's important to not give advice, I guess, until they've actually come out there and gotten the full totality of the knowledge.
Absolutely. Most people just do not know how much they do not know when it comes to the use of a firearm to appropriately defend your life. And that's what we give them in that 4-day program, and the 5th day with the 30-state concealed weapon permit class.
As Thomas Jefferson said, the great object, the great goal is that everyone be armed and proficient in the use of those arms. Doc, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thank you very much.
You bet. What a deal, folks. I mean, $1,199 for a free $500 gun, $500+ concealed carry, and 5 days of training. That would be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. This is at cost. I've talked to him. You've heard him. This is at cost, promotional right now, frontsight.com. Speaking of promotionals, free. Get Aaron Russo's Reflections and Warnings, absolutely free. The updated, full interview, never before released in total. My latest updates on the New World Order, the banking takeover, the control grid, and a lot of key video clips. A great presentation. Get this free when you get in-game. Got to deal with this half price. $9.95. I just want to get these out, folks. I want people to see this information. I want to move quickly because the New World Order is coming down on us right now. Infowars.com to take advantage of all the different specials. The Money Masters, 3+ hour film, $19.95. Know who the bankers are. Know your enemy. Infowars.com or 888-253-3139. 888-253-3139. I think I'm going to make time this fall to go out to the Front Sight. I need to go ahead and just get my concealed carry. I need to go ahead and get prepared because my life's getting crazier and crazier. And I need to get my training tuned up because it's quite rusty.